Welcome to the course today. We're going to be talking about the figure 8 knot. This is one of the most important knots in the climber's toolkit. It's a knot that you're going to use all the time if you haven't already used it. But today we're going to be learning a little bit about it and mastering tying the knot. So first of all, why do we use a figure 8? Why not something else? Well, the figure 8 is very easy to tie. It's very easy to inspect to make sure that we've tied it correctly. And it's super bomber. It's stronger than your rope. So the knot's going to come untied only after your rope's already broken, essentially. So that's part of the reason why it's such an important part of our toolkit. And we use it all the time in climbing, but one of the main places we use it is to tie into our harness. And that's what we're going to learn about today. So you can tie this around anything. You can tie it around a tree. You can tie it around the bumper on your car, but when we're tying into an object like this, we're going to use what's called the figure 8 retrace or rethreaded figure 8. Tie a basic figure 8 first. We need the tail end of a rope and we need to form a bight. I'm going to give myself about 3 feet of rope here and form a bight. And in order to tie the figure 8, we just take the tail end of the rope, wrap it one full rotation around the bight, and then take the tail and put the tail through the loop. Really easy. And once you've dressed the knot a little bit, we've got a figure 8. You only need to learn one way to tie it. This is an easy way, but if you've learned a different way, just focus on one way, master how to use that all the time in any circumstance. So this is the way I've tied it. And what I'm going to do is take this tail end of the rope and wrap it through whatever I want to tie around. In this case, it's my harness. So I'm going to tie into the 2 hard points of my harness, not the belay loop. And typically you want to keep it pretty tight within an inch or 2 of your harness. But I'm going to pull it up here a little higher just so you can watch what I'm doing. So with the retrace, all we're going to do is recreate this same figure 8 pattern. With this tail, I'm going to follow exactly through where I've already come from. So wherever this comes out, that's where we go in. And we're just going to follow it around. And you can be really careful and try to match exactly the ropes. That's the safest, cleanest way to do it, but mostly because it's easier to inspect. It doesn't increase the strength of the rope if there's a cross as you go. So just go up. And then this is going up over the top. So I'm going to go over the top, and then it's going back across that first strand we started to cross or retrace with. So I'm just going to follow that, and it goes behind. So I go behind, and then it goes right up through the top right there. So that's the retrace figure 8. We're not done yet though, because every knot we tie, we have to dress and stress. So we're going to dress this by pulling all 4 of these down, and then stress it. We're going to pull each individual cord to make sure that it's tight. And then to stress it, there's a few ways. The easiest way is to just give it a good tug. Now, a few words about the tail here. I've tied it purposely with a little bit longer tail. This is about 10 inches. You only need about 4 or 5 inches of tail here for this thing to be entirely secure. A lot of people you'll see, especially that have been climbing for a while, they have a habit of tying a big long tail and then tying a stopper knot or backup knot right here. And I don't quite have enough to tie the stopper knot, but I can tie just an overhand knot and get rid of that tail. However, a word about this knot. This does nothing for the security of this knot, because this knot on itself is totally secure. It's not going to come off the tail. So you don't need that security knot. It's only there for getting rid of slack in your rope. So when you inspect this, what you want to look for is 10 strands or 5 parallel strands. So we go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. if you've got that and it's nice and clean, looks like a figure 8, it's pretty easy to inspect. There's not a lot that could go wrong here. So pay attention to the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and you're good. That's about it. When you go to untie this knot after it's been loaded in a fall or something like that, it's easiest to just kind of work your way, just kind of break the knot by bending it in the middle, and then you can usually push these bottom ones out. But you just kind of bend the middle back and forth to untie it, and then you can pull this rethreaded figure 8 back out and back out of your harness, and then you hand this off to the next guy that's going to climb. So that's a figure 8 retrace.